I'm so excited. I've never done this before. First for everything. I'm sweating a little bit, but I think most of you know me. I've been on calls within this group. My name's Shannon, and I just had the idea yesterday to go live here and share my passion with you, which is my emotional eating workshop that I've been running alongside my Arbonne business right now. I'm really combining my two passions. I love what I do as an eating disorder nurse, which you've heard me talk about. And I also love Arbonne, so this is a way for me to combine those. And I'm just excited to share. So I thought the best way for you to kind of get an idea of what the workshop is all about is just to sit and have a listen to week one. We actually start the workshop again tonight. It's all online. And week one starts again tonight at 9 o'clock Atlantic or 8 o'clock Eastern. So there's still time to join us. And I will tell you your options for joining us at the end after I go through. It'll probably take me about 15 or 20 minutes to go through the week one with you right now. So I'm going to pull up a little PowerPoint to keep me on track here. Feel free to chime in at any point too. I may or may not see your comments though, because I'm sharing my screen. So if I can't see something that you're asking, I apologize. So you guys, I'm just going to start with a quick overview of what we cover in the workshop. Like I said, it's 4 weeks. It's at 9 o'clock at night if you're in Atlantic Standard Time, 8 o'clock in Eastern. If you're in another time zone, I'll let you do the math from there. But it's kind of good because if you have kids, you can get them to bed, you can take this time for yourself, which I think is just really important. Week one, we cover your thoughts and feelings about your eating. So that's what I'm going to get into today. Week two is how to manage urges to overeat. Week three is all about your body image. And week four is where we do a wrap up and share our experiences. And I should also mention before I get too far into this that I have a napping toddler right now. So I'm hoping that the universe works with me to allow him to stay asleep for 20 minutes. We'll see how it goes. So the guidelines I just review quickly in the group are obviously confidentiality. So this is an interactive group. So how it works is the first 20 minutes or half an hour, I do some teaching. And then the second half an hour, we do discussion. And I record the group every week, but I don't record the discussion part. So if you miss a group, it's fine. But you can watch the recording, but you will miss that live discussion, which is, I really think, where the magic happens. So I think to get the most out of it, like try to be there for the whole thing. That being said, once you're signed up for this group, if you miss a week, you're always part of this group. So I have a lot of people who are returning for the second or third time tonight. We've been running this since June. This is our 4th time, and it's just something that's really great to have in your back pocket for support around your eating. So the other thing is about participation. You can decide how much you want to participate. You can come on and have your camera on. You can have your camera off. It's totally up to you. I will say that what you put into it, you'll get out of it. I give little homework every week. You can decide whether or not you do that. Like, I'm not going to keep tabs on whether people are doing it, but the more you put into it, the more you get out. Focusing on emotions. So this group, the reason I started this, you guys, like I said, I've been an eating disorder nurse for 10 years. I've always been a mental health nurse since I graduated from nursing school. And I love the healthy living program that Arbonne offers. However, I feel like with any program around eating, the most important part is mindset. It really is mindset. And you'll see as I go through that. And so I thought that that was kind of a piece that is usually missing and I could help with. So that's why I really want to do it. It really is my passion to help people with the emotional side of things. Showing up for yourself. So this is just not only showing up on the call, which isn't always easy to do. Like, it's 9 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock. Sometimes you're tired at the end of the day, but this is something that you're doing for you. So I just really encourage you to, show up if you are going to do the 4 weeks. Just even if you're just kind of passively listening, just take that time for you. And then on the call, like, if you have an urge to ask a question, please just trust your urge, and know that it's a safe place to ask. And that's another way of showing up for yourself. And then, of course, a no shame zone. So I don't think that anybody's going to shame each other in the group, but sometimes you can hear shame in the way people talk about themselves, which is fine if we need to flush that out, but it's just something to be really mindful of, to not shame yourself for continuing a behavior, for instance. So I'm going to jump right into it now, you guys. So week 1, your thoughts and feelings about your eating. So this week is all about noticing. The goal is not to change anything in week 1, but just to simply pay attention to your thoughts and feelings about your eating. So I'm going to ask you a few questions here. Have you ever been on a diet or a meal plan and not stuck with it? I apologize, I can't see you guys. Actually, I could see you if I look on my phone. Let's just see if I can see anybody's. Oh no, turn the volume down. I'm not sure if it's coming through in real time on my phone, but if you have a question, I might be able to see it here, so we'll try that. So has this ever happened to you? I think most of us have been in a situation where we start something and it's difficult to keep that up. How did you feel about that when you gave up on it? Did you ever wonder why you couldn't stick with it? So that's what we're going to talk about in this workshop. Why diets in a traditional sense don't work. And it has everything to do with mindset. And the thing is, we think it's the diet, we think it's the meal plan, we switch it up, we do different things. But if we don't switch our mind, our results aren't going to change. Because what we're trying to do is find an external solution for an internal problem. So the whole key is turning inward and healing yourself. Developing this insight is not a little thing, you guys. It is absolutely everything. It's the secret to normalizing your eating habits, and it is also the secret to losing weight and keeping it off. So what's this big secret? The secret is you don't have a food problem, you have a pain problem. And not just you, but me, everybody else, we all carry emotional pain. For a lot of people, and women in particular, it comes out as emotional eating. For other people, it comes out as different things, which we'll talk about. When I say pain, I mean emotional pain, an emotional pain problem. So it's not about the food. And your degree of struggle with your eating equals your degree of unprocessed emotional pain. So the more you're struggling, the more pain you have that you haven't released. And that's what I can help you with. And carrying around that pain, what it does is it erodes your self-worth. And your self-worth is what puts the ceiling on your life. But as you heal your pain, you improve the quality of your life. So you may be wondering why you eat when you're sad and why you eat when you're happy and everything in between. So how did you get here? Let's start at the very beginning. So we are all born perfect with the ability to nourish ourselves, right? So if you're a mom, for instance, and you've had a baby, you know how they put the baby on your chest. Newborn babies are actually, they've been studied, and they will like wiggle their way to their mom's nipple to feed. Like I think it's just fascinating. So it is an innate drive to feed ourselves. And also, as a healthy baby, you were able to end the feed when you were satisfied. So if you've ever like nursed a baby or bottle fed a baby, you know when they're milk drunk, right? And they just kind of pull away and a little drip of milk goes down their chin. They know that they're full. So why is this a struggle as an adult? Well, somewhere along the way, food loses its neutrality. So it's no longer neutral. It becomes more than a source of fuel or energy, because we start to attach emotions to it. And this happens even as a baby, right? In that first year of life, you can see how until babies develop the ability to self-soothe, they turn into soothing themselves with the bottle or the breast. And it makes sense that the more uncomfortable our environment, the more we use food as comfort. So we start out by using food occasionally to self-soothe, And then we can progress to using food daily to numb emotional pain. And food is just one of the many options we have for numbing. So some others are drinking, drugs, sex, gambling, and then scrolling social media is a big one. Watching Netflix, right? If you think of like all of those things that you do, where you kind of like lose time and you're like, well, how did an hour go by? Like scrolling Facebook or Instagram is a big one for people. And I don't think we realize that we're numbing out when we're doing it necessarily. We just have this habit of going to it, and it's a distraction from our thoughts. But with food, it's harder to reverse the use of it to numb because we need it several times a day to live. So with alcohol, if you're an alcoholic, you can put down the alcohol. It's difficult, but that is part of your recovery, is you walk away from it and you don't touch it again. Where at food, you need to be exposed to it several times a day. So it's actually more difficult to break the habit. To reverse a food addiction, we have to reverse the use of food as a numbing agent. So how do we do this? We must use our courage and choose to face our pain head on. So those are our painful emotions. And this is a simple idea, but it's not easy. And that's why I'm here to help you with this. The longer you've numbed your pain, the more acute it feels when you face it. So when you take away that favorite food that you use to numb, that comfort food, let's say, that pain feels pretty raw at first, but that is the process of undoing that emotional eating pattern. It takes a lot of courage to do, and it takes, it's so helpful in the group to not only have my help, like with developing insight, but also the discussion part where like your peers, everyday people who are like doing the same thing as you every single evening can say, hey, that's me, and this is what I learned this week. It's like super powerful. So our conditioning is feel pain, numb with food. And that just becomes a cycle. Feel pain, numb with food. And in week 2, we really get into how to break that emotional eating cycle. So just to kind of further add a wrench in things, there's so many food labels out there, you guys. So just to be aware of these. So good, bad. Like, do you think of foods as good and bad? There's a question for you. That's something that I have learned not to do, being an eating disorder nurse, not to categorize foods. Healthy, unhealthy, junk, garbage, light, heavy, clean, dirty, whole, toxic, fattening, decadent, indulgent. What labels are you putting on your food? And then there's food paradigms as well. So that, like things like, oh, that's my guilty pleasure, or don't ruin your appetite, or garbage in, garbage out, or you are what you eat, or clean your plate, or there are starving children in the world. How many of us grew up with that one, right? And a big one that I've heard people say, even when doing the Arbonne 30 days, is, oh, I cheated. Like I cheated on Sunday. And I'm like, you didn't cheat. So that's a big part of the reason that I wanted to start this workshop, because I could see that people were shaming themselves for their eating. And you know what? It's not about being perfect. Like any plan that you're following, any change that you're making, it's not about being perfect. It's about progress, right? So the thing is, and it seems like it's like a benign thing to use these labels, like what's the big deal, right? But what happens is we start to think of the foods we eat as a reflection of who we are. So when we choose a good food, we say, oh, I'm being good today. So I'm being good, which subconsciously can become a feeling that you're a good person because you're eating well, you're eating healthy, you're eating good, like clean, you're eating, do you know what I mean? On the flip side, when you choose a bad food, you say I'm being bad or I cheated, that becomes I'm a bad person. And whether you're conscious of that or not, it can start to erode your self-worth and become part of your pain, as we talked about. And before we know it, the whole range of human emotions is attached to food, from joy and empowerment to guilt and shame. So I just want you to think for a second, do you have any food rules, and what are they? And how do they affect your life? So just to end off, I'm going to introduce a concept of like categories of eating. A lot of people have found this really helpful. I learned this myself listening to Brooke Castillo. She has a podcast called The Life Coach School. I absolutely love everything she has to say. And she started out as a weight loss coach. But she talks about fuel eating, joy eating, fog eating, and storm eating. So what fuel eating is the type of eating you do that's just kind of fueling your body. So it's mechanical. It's not like, you may not necessarily love that food that you're eating, but you know that it's good for your body and your body needs fuel. So it's different for different people, but some people have identified, okay, like a salad is fuel eating for me, or a protein shake, or that kind of, or like clean eating could be fuel eating for you. That's just an example. Like, you have to kind of tease that out for yourself. Joy eating is kind of like your comfort food eating. So if you're going to go out to a restaurant, what's your favorite type of food? Do you love Italian? Do you love Chinese? Like, what is it that you love and brings you joy to have? Like, I have lots. I'm thinking nachos in my head. And then there's fog eating, which is number 3, where this is the kind of eating you do where you kind of lose track of time. So often this happens in front of the TV at the end of the day. It might be like you open a bag of chips, and like a big bag, and you don't know how you get to the bottom of it. So you kind of lose yourself in it. You're eating in a fog, and it's just mindless. So it's like that sort of numbing out, in the same way that you would scroll Facebook. That's fog eating. And then storm eating is the last type. So it's like fog eating, but on another level. You could equate it with binge eating. And with true binge eating, it's a large amount of food in a short amount of time, like less time than it would take somebody to eat that amount. And the key with this is you feel out of control. So fog eating, you don't necessarily feel out of control. You're just kind of like mindless, whereas you feel that loss of control with the binge eating, and it can kind of feel like a desperate feeling or a frantic feeling. So a lot of people have, like I said, really done well with being able to identify what type of eating they're about to do. Like, am I eating for fuel or joy or fog, or something, like, which is it? And it gives them a minute to pause and maybe make a different choice, maybe not, but the awareness is the first step in any change. And we get into managing urges around all of these in week 2. Okay, so again, week 1, remember, is all about noticing. The goal is not to change anything. It's just to start to observe your thoughts and feelings around your eating and the patterns that you have developed over time. And then the homework that I give in week 1 is just noticing. So start to notice your thoughts and feelings about your eating. Are you making your food choices out of love or out of fear? So out of love for yourself, and that could be any one of those 4 categories. I'm not saying like only fuel eating is love. Do you know what I mean? But ask yourself, am I doing this out of self-love right now, or am I doing this out of fear of weight gain, or fear of whatever else it might be, or self-hate would fall into that fear category as well. And then which of the 4 types of eating are you doing, and how often? So you just start to observe, like I said. And then one thing to point out, we have a lot of people in this group who are doing the Arbonne 30 Days to Healthy Living. And I just point out that the spirit that you do that program in will dramatically affect your results. So are you doing that program out of love for yourself because you want to feel better and have more energy and all of that? Or are you doing it because it's just another way for you to try to lose weight because you hate your body the way it is? There's a big difference, right? So that's what we learn to start to do here, is shift towards self-love. Okay, I'm gonna get into sign-up options. So that's week 1. Like tonight we will do the same thing, but we'll have the discussion piece after. So you're more than welcome to join us for that tonight if you decide to sign up. Option one, you guys, if you're looking for the cheapest option, it is free for consultants. So Arbonne consultants, if you're already a consultant, it's absolutely free for you to join the group. So the group is called What's Eating You, and you can just click on that and I will accept you into the group. Also, what a lot of people are doing who want to be part of this, and they want to do it with the cheapest option, is just become a consultant. So I have somebody in the group tonight, that's what she's doing, and it's a $59 membership fee. So not looking to build a business or necessarily even buy products. And the great thing with Arbonne is there's no obligation to do either of those things. But the reason I want to offer this as an option to everyone is because I strongly believe that the Arbonne community is one of the best communities out there for personal growth. So the workshop is just one example of the kind of personal growth that will be open to you absolutely for free as a consultant. And like I said, with no pressure to ever build a business if that's not what you want. With Arbonne, there's no automatic like charges on your card beyond that $59. There's no contract. There's nothing like that. Sometimes people have that as a reservation, but in Arbonne, there's nothing like that. So you have nothing to worry about there. If you're a preferred client right now, to upgrade to a consultant is only $24. So if you decide to do that, you would get this workshop for free, which is a steal of a deal, if I do say so myself. And not only that, you would upgrade your 20% off that you normally get as a preferred client to 35% off as a consultant of any products that you may decide to purchase down the road, because if you're a preferred client, you probably already love products. So that's option one. And the other thing to note this month, so just for October, there is a way to become an independent consultant absolutely free with a qualifying product order. So if you are interested in that, just ask your consultant and they'll fill you in on the details for that. Then option two, I'm offering this as a free gift with purchase for preferred clients with a couple different options. So if you're currently a preferred client and you purchase a nutrition special value pack, you'll get this workshop for free. So not only will you get the workshop, but you'll also be added to another Facebook group for the Healthy Living program. So that's where they post recipes and meal ideas and have support specific to that program as well. So you'll have like the support for that piece, for the actual eating piece, and you'll have this support for the mindset piece. You guys, I'm telling you, this is like the missing piece that can bring it all together for you. So that's one option. If you're a preferred client, you purchase the nutrition package. So here's a picture of that there. So you get 2 bags of protein, you get 2 boxes of tea, fiber boost, there's a cleanse, there's digestion plus, there's fizz. It's an amazing group of products. I use all of those products in my daily life. I don't necessarily do the Healthy Living program every month, but I do use all these products and I love them. And what I love about them is they're just convenient. Because people have asked me, like, can you do clean eating without supplements? And of course you can, absolutely. Like, there is a way to do that. But I will say, like, our Digestion Plus is your prebiotic and probiotic. It's difficult to get that, like, from food in a way that's going to be absorbed by the body, for instance. And then the other thing is people are busy. So what I love about the protein shakes is I can just grab and go. There's Fit Chews. There's all kinds of things that can help you curb those urges to overeat. It's a tool in your toolbox, and everything's delicious as well. So that's a picture of that package. And then I added a second option for preferred clients just for October, you guys, because we just found out yesterday that Arbonne has a new package available just this month, and it's called the Clean Swap Box. So if you buy one of those as a preferred client, you will also get this workshop for free. And what's in that box, pretty exciting actually. It's a little bit of our nutrition products and a little bit of our skincare. And that's what Arbonne's known for, those two things mainly. We are the #1 brand for healthy living from the inside out. So you would get vanilla protein shake, you'd get pomegranate fizz, you'd get the Digestion Plus, and then you would get, for skincare, you'd get the Intensive Renewal Serum, which is like our liquid Botox. It's amazing. And we get our night repair cream, and you get our smoothing facial cleanser. So it kind of gets you started onto those 2 fantastic product lines. It's a really, really great deal as well. So those are your two options as a preferred client. And also, there is an option to become a preferred client for free this month as well. So if you're not currently a preferred client or a consultant, you can kind of choose which way to go. But your consultant can fill you in on how to get your membership for free. I will tell you right now that if you choose either the clean swap box or the special value pack, you're going to get that preferred client membership for free this month. So those are the options to join, you guys. So thank you for joining me, tuning in, and letting me kind of do this as a first on this group. And I hope to see some of you guys tonight. So just message your consultant if you want to join us, or you can message me directly and I can help you get signed up through your consultant for this workshop. So love you guys. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. And I'm so thankful the baby's still sleeping. Bye, everybody.